Good day, friends. My name is Yancy. I'm here today, the day after Arnold Palmer's passing, doing a tribute, telling my Arnold story. There will be a million of these, but I'm compelled to tell it, even if I'm just a common man. And okay, my story goes back. It starts with this button right here. Well, sort of. Now here in Portland, Oregon, I started my career in the hospitality industry before working my way to country clubs management. I worked for a restaurant called Jake's Famous Crawfish, and I worked there as a teenager. And in 1986, the first tournament of what would become called Peter's Party, it was the Fred Meyer Challenge, and it was at Portland Golf Club, and the chef at Jake's came down to me and said, "You want to work a catering job?" And I was 17, 18, 19, I'm not sure, and at the time I was a dishwasher waiting to be a busboy, and I jumped at it. And it was my first real experience with golf. When we got there, and there was this huge tent set up, huge white tablecloth banquet, and 1,000 people there probably, live music and antics going on, and names being dropped of famous people. But I didn't know any of the golfers, but I knew the name Arnold Palmer. And when they said that, I tried to catch a glimpse of him. Did not, but I was there, he was there. He played at least 9 consecutive Fred Meyer challenges here in Portland, and later called Peter's Party, which we have right here. Quite often, Peter Jacobsen would, well, actually every time I believe, he would mock, in jest, other golfers' behaviors, and he would do Arnold's swing. It was hilarious, and Arnold was a Portland guy. He's here every year for this, and anyway, I found this today because my modest collection of golf memorabilia, older stuff, I was looking through it to see if I had anything with Arnold on it, and I did find this. It's an anniversary pin, 86 to 95. The Fred Meyer Challenge, Portland, Oregon. I did play at different courses, and later became Peter's Party, and doing a lot of and, uhs, and hmms, because just it's that kind of moment. You can actually see him here shaking Peter's hand. That's part A. Okay, now part B. Let's go down the timeline. I'm in Southern California. I am a green behind the ears country club manager, suit and tie, and our club every year for the Bob Hope Classic, which it was called at the time, held in Palm Springs. The country club I worked for was in Southern California, greater Los Angeles area, and they would get a tour bus and stock it up full of beverages and take that bus out on Thursday, the first day of the tournament. We'd go to Indian Wells, and members would buy tickets or passes to ride this thing and hang out for the day and get driven back home to the club. And somebody from management always had to go along, make sure everybody checked off the list on the bus, all that good stuff. And I volunteered and was happily given the duty and showed up at Indian Wells. I had never been to a golf tournament. I was a golf fan. I'd watched much on TV. I'd seen some single golfers at some charity tournaments at my club. Weisberger. not coming to me at the moment here, but regardless. So I get into Indian Wells, and I know Palmer's there, and I'm thinking, I got to see Palmer. I must. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to get on this course until I see him. I'm going to watch him play a golf hole because it may be my last opportunity. You know, there was talk of him retiring at the time. And keep in mind, this is, let's see, early and mid 90s. I'd say somewhere in there. So, never been to a golf tournament, a pro golf tournament. Get my little pamphlets and whatnot at the gate, and I just start tromping down that fairway or this pathway. The course was fairly empty, really. It was early, about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. at Indian Wells, and I don't know what hole it was, but I just kept walking to the first green that I could get to, and it was roped off with a little 2-foot rope around the green. Apologies, my apologies. And a couple, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 people standing around, little groups around the green. So I walked up and introduced myself to another fan and said, "Hey, I just got here. You don't happen to know where Palmer is at out here, do you?" And the man turns and looks at me and says, then he turns and looks at the green and points to one of these golf balls that's on the green and says, "See that golf ball? Just keep your eyes on that golf ball." And I thought, huh, what? So I did what he said, and I looked, and I realized who was coming up the fairway. Mr. Palmer. And he came up. He almost made the birdie putt, 2-putted for a par, stepped over the little rope. I was in awe, truly, at the moment, and would love to have shaken his hand or said hello, but I just froze. But he looked over at us and gave us a nod and a smile, and was on his way. That's my personal Arnold Palmer memory. For what it's worth, it's one of, like I said, going to be a million of these, but he was the king of golf, and always will be.